Anyone who knows Tom Cruise or his family knows how fascinating they are. He has always been very proud of his daughter, Suri Cruise, but at the age of 18, Suri took a daring decision that everyone was surprised by. She changed her name to Suri Noel. Changing her name is more than simply a cosmetic alteration. It's a declaration that Suri is mature enough to stand on her own 2 feet, not only as the daughter of Tom Cruise, but as an individual in her own right. Why did Suri do this, and how will it influence her relationship with her famous father? Stay tuned as we examine how Suri Cruise's most recent choice is generating buzz and admiration. In the 2000s, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes were a well-publicized couple. They became Hollywood's golden couple the day they started dating in 2005. Their brief affair enchanted both fans and journalists who thought it was straight out of a fairy tale. In November 2006, they celebrated their love with an opulent, dreamy wedding in Italy, and they were already engaged just a few months into their relationship. As the entire globe gazed in wonder, it seemed like a real Hollywood event. Nothing could possibly go wrong, and their admirers were over the moon. It was evident that the love and joy she provided them were reflected in the name Suri, which means princess, and red rose, when their daughter was born. Their lives together appeared idyllic at first. They frequently appeared at events attended by A-listers, traveled the world, and posed for photos together. A Scientologist even accompanied Katie to public occasions, a sign of her acceptance of Tom's unfaltering devotion to the religion that had a profound impact on his life. Things weren't as perfect as they seemed, though, behind the scenes of sparkle and glamour. Reports of tension in their relationship began to circulate, with many speculating that Katie was becoming more and more distraught at Tom's strong Scientology affiliation. The happily ever after ended in 2012, when Katie shocked everyone by unexpectedly filed for a divorce after 5 years of marriage. Why did this seemingly ideal couple's lives take such a dramatic turn? Some think she wanted to keep their daughter away from the church because she was afraid of its impact. One thing is clear, though: Suri appears to have taken a singular route throughout her life. How is Tom Cruise coping with this, and why is it happening? As events go, the plot thickens. See how Suri's life was affected by Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes' love, marriage, and separation, as well as her shocking, world-shattering choice, by continuing to watch the video. Scientology is a religion and philosophy established by Hollywood actor Tom Cruise, is only one of many people who owe a great debt to Ron Hubbard from the 1950s. Every individual, according to Scientologists, has a spiritual essence called a thetan. This essence has existed in many lives and will persist when this one ends. Some people believe that your spiritual self exists independently of your mental and bodily selves. Auditing, a spiritual therapy technique central to Scientology, encourages members to face and overcome emotional difficulties by delving into their history. They try to create a condition termed clear, where one is free from prior trauma and negativity, by using a gadget called the E-meter during these sessions to assess the body's responses to ideas and emotions. Members progress through levels on this route, which is called the Bridge to Total Freedom, in order to gain a deeper understanding of spirituality and develop resilience in the face of adversity. From taking care of oneself to being involved in one's society and the world at large, Scientology highlights the significance of attending to all aspects of life, which it refers to as the 8 dynamics. Those who follow the rules do so with the intention of bettering themselves and the world around them. Those who are really devoted might join the Sea organization, a community of people who live and work together in service to the church. When Katie Holmes started dating Tom Cruise in 2005, she became a part of this world. At first, she looked fully committed to Scientology. She would even go to events accompanied by a representative from the religion. Over time, though, things evolved. Reportedly, Katie had not visited a Scientology church for a while after becoming more uneasy with the organization's strict procedures. The marital strife stemmed from her unease with the ever-present church personnel, an issue that church leader David Miscavige's father, Ron, has brought up. Their daughter Suri's alleged enrollment at a Catholic preschool at the same time suggests that her links to the faith are becoming more slack. Katie made news in 2012 when she filed for a divorce from Tom, claiming that they couldn't be more different. She did not want to share parenting responsibilities with Tom and instead wanted exclusive custody of their daughter, Suri. Tom, who was filming in Iceland and had recently turned 50 years old, was allegedly taken by surprise by the action. He had no knowledge that Katie was plotting their breakup and was apparently devastated to hear about the filing. It wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. Katie had meticulously plotted her departure. Martin Holmes, her father and a lawyer, traveled to New York to advise her and console her while she went through the ordeal. In order to be sure that she and Suri would have somewhere secure to go after the divorce was official, Katie quietly rented an apartment in New York City. During this time, her daughter's welfare was her top priority. Speculation surfaced following the filing suggesting that Katie had observed suspicious behavior near her New York residence. Fearing that Scientology members were tailing her, strange automobiles, one of which was a white Cadillac, appeared to be keeping tabs on her. She went so far as to contact the authorities because she was terrified that Tom might attempt to kidnap Suri or send her to a Scientology training facility. Katie was adamant about protecting Suri, so she fired her publicist and security detail who had ties to Tom, even though the church disputed the accusations. This further distanced Katie from Tom. The disconnection policy of Scientology, which can lead members to terminate relations with family members in order to quit the religion, was one of Katie's main worries. She hoped Suri might be spared this fate. With the hope of relocating the case to California and increasing his chances of obtaining joint custody, Tom, meantime, retained his own legal team. Instead of leaving Suri's destiny up to Katie, he might divide his time and decision-making authority with her. Tom Cruise's third marriage ended in Katie's divorce, and each one had a plot that could compete with the most dramatic Hollywood film. Scientology was obviously a major component in Katie's decision to go, even though neither Tom nor the Church of Scientology has ever openly acknowledged that religion was a component in the breakup. Tom Cruise's difficult relationship history includes Katie Holmes' choice to leave him. Their high-profile position and the fact that this was Tom's third marriage ending in divorce made her 2012 filed for dissolution of her marriage a news story. Actress Mimi Rogers, to whom Cruise is said to have introduced him to Scientology, was one of Cruise's two prior marriages. The fact that Tom's previous two relationships both ended in divorce has led many to wonder if Scientology had any impact on his private life. In the mid-1980s, Tom Cruise had already begun his meteoric rise to Hollywood stardom. Tom met the mysterious and attractive Mimi Rogers, an actress 6 years his senior, at a party in 1985. Despite Mimi's well-established career in cinema and television, her strong ties to Scientology were what truly set her apart. This faith would have far-reaching and unanticipated effects on Tom's life and work. They had a low-key, intimate wedding on May 9, 1987, after they hit it off immediately. Even though Tom was 24 and Mimi was 31, it still caused others to wonder. Their bond was based on a mutual love of philosophy and spirituality. Actually, Tom's identity would soon be defined in large part by his beliefs in Scientology, which he supposedly met through Mimi. Their marriage, though seemingly bound together spiritually, was short-lived. Their divorce was formalized in 1990, the same year in which they declared their separation. Where did I go wrong? Speculation circulated that Mimi's choice not to have children with Tom was the dividing factor, while other accounts cited their divergent professional goals and aspirations. According to some sources, Scientology may have wanted Tom to find a new spouse because they envisioned a brighter future for him. This led to speculation that Scientology was involved in the breakup. Long after their marriage had ended, Mimi intimated in an interview that Tom's utopian notion of family life had been at odds with their circumstances. Their romance ended nearly as soon as it started for whatever reason, but it set the stage for Tom's next chapter. In 1989, Nicole Kidman made her entrance. The main lady role was vacant in the action-packed racing film Days of Thunder, in which Tom was cast. Nicole Kidman, an Australian actress who is mostly unknown, was cast by the casting team. Upon first meeting, chemistry blossomed between them due to her irresistible skill and blazing red hair. Tom fell head over heels for her, and the connection they had on television soon blossomed into a real-life romance. In a clandestine ceremony in Telluride, Colorado, the couple wed on December 24, 1990, only a few months after Tom's divorce from Mimi was finalized. Tom and Nicole seemed like the ideal Hollywood power couple at first sight, young, beautiful, and obviously madly in love. They frequently spoke about their loving family life and the two children they adopted, Isabella and Connor. The two were red carpet regulars and reunited for Stanley Kubrick's 1999 psychological thriller Eyes Wide Shut, which featured long days of filming and harsh sequences. Despite keeping their personal problems out of the limelight, some think the film strained their relationship. After that, Tom's divorce paperwork appeared out of nowhere in February 2001. No one was prepared for the news, but Nicole, who admitted afterwards that the choice had taken her by surprise, was the most stunned. In interviews, she admitted that the breakup devastated her, but that she still loved Tom. Some popular explanations surfaced as people pondered the split's causes. Some said that their hectic, demanding jobs were to blame for their separation, while others said that Nicole, a practicing Catholic, was never completely at ease with Scientology, and that Tom's increasing devotion to the church may have contributed. Remarking on Tom's reduced stature, Nicole famously joked, "Now I can wear high heels again," after their divorce was formalized in August 2001. This suggestion gently hinted to deeper troubles between them. Tom and Nicole have both talked fondly of their time together, despite the anguish of their parting. Nevertheless, the exact reasons for their split are still unknown. Like so many Hollywood love stories, theirs ended just as abruptly as it had begun. From the day of her birth, Suri Cruise has lived through the unimaginable, a childhood spent under the constant scrutiny of hundreds of people. Since Suri was born to Hollywood heavyweights Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, her life has been constantly scrutinized, making her upbringing anything from ordinary. From the start, photographers were clicking images of her and her family everywhere they went, whether it was grocery shopping, eating out, or simply taking a stroll. Unlike other children, Suri was the center of attention at all times. Images of Suri enjoying family trips or spending time with her parents were frequently published in publications. Being a public figure isn't simple. Even if Suri had it good, having the world stare at her every step wasn't. Because of this, she did not have the same level of privacy that other children have. The media's interest in Suri's life and her romance with Tom Cruise grew when she entered puberty, drawing even more attention to herself. Suri felt even more pressure as she navigated puberty in the face of such much monitoring. Being famous was just half the battle. The other half was dealing with the scrutiny and pressure that accompanied fame. Dealing with the media and the public's interest in her life was something she had to figure out early on. Many times, her daily life was made more difficult by the fact that her family's private problems were in the headlines. Picture yourself going to class or hanging out with pals, but being haunted by the continuous fear that your every move may land up in the headlines. For Suri, this has always meant a lot. She had the impression that others were more interested in her famous parents than in her own identity, which made her feel that she was subject to unfair criticism. As a youngster, Suri hoped for nothing less than a typical childhood. She yearned for a life free from the scrutiny of the media, where she could attend classes, make friends, and participate in extracurricular activities like any other youngster her age. Nevertheless, accomplishing this was no picnic. It only takes a trip to the store for ice cream or a birthday celebration to become a huge deal in the media. Because she was always worried about being photographed or having her privacy violated, she couldn't play freely like other kids her age. Her social life became even more complicated as a result of the constant scrutiny she endured, even in her most casual encounters. In spite of everything, Suri has figured out how to deal with her own special situation. She has had to walk a fine line between wanting seclusion and dealing with the fact that her parents are renowned. With practice, she was able to manage the attention and make decisions that let her lead a somewhat normal life. To avoid circumstances where Suri could be overwhelmed by cameras, Katie Holmes has frequently chosen to keep a low profile. In spite of everything, Suri has demonstrated strength by continuing to forge her own path in the public eye. She seems to be trying to live a normal life outside of her famous family by taking part in school musicals, dancing, and playing sports. Suri Cruise's choice to alter her name to Suri Noel has recently made news, and it's not an easy transition. This transformation discloses a great deal about her life story and her desires for public perception. Suri, who was born to Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, was a high school graduate when she changed her name, which caused quite a stir among admirers. She requested to be addressed as Suri Noel during the LaGuardia High School event, rather than the more common Suri Cruise. This choice is not made at random. It has great significance. Katie Noel Holmes is the full name of the celebrity. Her middle name is Noel. Suri feels a stronger bond to her mother's identity because of the personal touch it offers. While Suri's mom was present to support her during her graduation on June 21st, her dad was conspicuously missing. What a privilege it must have been to be the kid of two great actors and to have your every move watched by the world at large. When everyone thinks of you in relation to your famous parents, it could be hard to establish your own identity. For that reason, Suri's decision to change her name is profound. She isn't just changing her name. By embracing Suri Noel, she is asserting her identity and aspirations. Additionally, this shift occurs at a critical juncture. At the age of 18, Suri has reached a watershed moment in her life when she must decide who she is and where she wants to go. She is boldly expressing her own identity by utilizing Suri Noel for significant occasions, such as her graduation and school plays. Her statement, "I'm ready to step into the world as my own person, not just as Tom Cruise's daughter," highlights the significance of her name, Suri Noel. For someone starting a new chapter in her life, Noel is the ideal pick because it typically makes people think of Christmas and new beginnings. There has been a lot of talk over the name change. Many see it as Suri's brave move towards self-sufficiency, as though she is finally shedding the massive shadow cast by her famous father and establishing herself as someone apart from his fame. Critics have speculated that this is her strategy for dealing with the constant barrage of media attention she has endured since she was a little girl. She may be trying to get control of her public narrative and gain some privacy by changing her identity. The general populace's response has been diverse. Others worry that she may be trying to hide from the enormous scrutiny that has followed her, while others view her new name as a statement of maturity. For many, changing your name is a means to start over and create a new identity, free from the chains of their past. Why, therefore, did Suri choose to make this alteration without consulting her father first? Because of the constant scrutiny Suri endures as Tom Cruise's daughter, Katie Holmes has been very nurturing and careful with her. Since 2012, Tom and Suri's relationship has been rocky, and they haven't had much contact. Since she is now an adult, she is allowed to discuss her sentiments toward her father and his beliefs, including Scientology, as outlined in their divorce agreement, which stated that he would pay for Suri's bills until she turned 18. Considering Suri's age, some think Tom may reach out to her again, maybe introducing her to Scientology. Nonetheless, Suri and her mother Katie have remained close, and Katie has made it a point to keep Suri's life out of the spotlight. Despite spending her whole life in the spotlight, surfer Suri Cruise is now stepping out on her own. Along with taking a new name, Suri is now experiencing the wonderful changes that come with entering adulthood. College is an option she may consider after finishing high school. It will provide her the chance to establish her own identity, apart from her illustrious family. It seems that Suri is more interested in following her artistic and fashion-forward interests than those of her parents, at least according to reports. A lot of young people find inspiration in Suri's story because they, too, are trying to find their place in the world while dealing with parental pressure to conform. She wants to be her own person and start her own journey, thus changing her name to Suri Noel is a symbolic act of both of those things. She is taking a courageous step, and many are interested in following her story. Do you agree or disagree with Suri's abrupt choice to drop the Cruise surname in favor of the Noel one? Leave a comment below and tell us what you think. It would mean a lot to us if you could hit the like, share, and subscribe button if you liked the video. You stay updated on new uploads. Be sure you enable the notification bell. Much obliged for your time.